I'm Rochelle Gentile, president of the Dubuque Symphony Orchestra League. I'm here at the Dubuque Golf and Country Club, kicking off our virtual Soundbite series. Under normal circumstances, you'd be right here with me, enjoying a great lunch and a preview of the DSO's upcoming concert, and I'm sure you will be again soon. As you may know, the DSOL develops and administers projects, programs, and events that provide music education opportunities to folks of all ages, as well as financial support to the DSO and its youth ensemble programs. Each year, the League contributes support to youth education events and programs such as the 3rd and 5th grade Arts Trek concerts, the 4th grade Adopt a Musician program, the Youth Concerto competition, the Dubuque Symphony Youth Ensembles, and the Summer String Camp. Along with our many other endeavors is our Senior Classics program, now in its 9th year, providing performances by DSO musicians to entertain residents and their families at local nursing homes and assisted living centers. While the past year has looked a little different, we continue to focus our efforts on fundraising. We encourage and welcome you to join us in our 54th year of supporting the DSO. Please check out the DSO's website for more information about how you can get involved. We hope to see you soon, but before I go, I'd like to introduce our esteemed music director and conductor, Dr. William Intriligator.
Another piece of chamber music on our first classics program in February is Jessie Montgomery's string quartet entitled Strum. I first heard this when I was just driving in my car listening to Sirius XM on the Symphony Channel, and I heard this incredible string quartet, which was so fun and lively, and then I learned it was by a young American composer, a woman named Jessie Montgomery. Jessie Montgomery grew up in the Lower East Side in New York in the 1980s, and in a very artistic kind of family, and a family that was actually really a strong proponent of using music and art as a way of social change. And so she grew up with the idea that people should be using their music in a sense to help fight for social justice and other kinds of causes. So her mother was a storyteller and an actress. Her father was a musician, and she grew up playing all sorts of different kinds of music, but also had a very traditional classical violin upbringing, and she has violin degrees from Juilliard, which is amazing, of course. But now she's so busy doing so many different things, performing on violin, composing, being a producer. You should check out her website, Jessie Montgomery. And for this piece, Strum, she started it in 2006. It has gone through a few different versions, and the final version was in 2012. And actually, in 2012, she helped write it for the Sphinx organization, which she's been associated with for quite some time now. If you're not familiar with the Sphinx organization, they help minority composers and performers thrive in the classical music industry. And it's a very important, wonderful organization. For those of you who remember Gareth Johnson, who has performed with the Dubuque Symphony Orchestra many times, it was through the Sphinx organization that I first learned about Gareth. I reached out to them and I said, do you have a young violinist who could maybe be part of a program that helps celebrate Black History Month and things like that? And that's how we first found out about Gareth. So Jessie Montgomery has been involved with the Sphinx organization quite a bit as well. This piece is so exciting. The idea of strum from the title comes from the fact that a lot of the instruments are plucking their instruments and strumming it almost like a guitar at times. In fact, in the score, she even has a note explaining that there's a certain symbol that she uses that's a traditional symbol for bowing, up or down bow, and she's using it to show the type of direction, upward or downward, to pizzicato, to pluck the strings, almost like a guitar or a mandolin. This piece has a lot of energy about it, and as she writes in the score here, that the strumming pizzicato serves as a sort of texture motif, and then the primary driving rhythmic underpinning of the force is that pizzicato throughout. And then the melodies draw on American folk idioms and the spirit of the dance and movement. The piece has a sort of narrative where it begins with some sort of nostalgia and transforms into ecstatic celebration. So perfect for these concerts. Here's a little example of Strum by Jessie Montgomery. encourage you to go on YouTube and check out this particular performance. It's the Catalyst Quartet performing. And if I'm not mistaken, that looks to me, I'm watching it here on YouTube, that looks like Jessie Montgomery herself playing second violin in this Catalyst Quartet. We also have a video of Jessie Montgomery talking about this piece that we should...
Hello, I'm Jessie Montgomery, composer and violinist. And I want to tell you a little bit about my piece, Strum. Strum was written in 2008, originally for string quintet, so a string quartet plus an extra cello like you'd find in the Schubert cello quintet. And then in 2012, I revised it for string quartet and changed the ending. I added the sort of flashy and driving ending that's typically performed. And really the piece is based on this driving pizzicato rhythm that's presented after a slow introduction. And that rhythm is a fun opportunity for string players to strum all four strings at once and create a sort of folk-like, guitar-like driving groove. And so that groove rhythm kind of pulls us through the entire piece. And other things to listen for are the melodies and the way that the melodies sort of get tossed around and hocketed between the instruments. And so it's really a very active and acrobatic piece for string players. It can be. I hope you enjoy Strum.
She's an amazing performer and composer and producer, and she's involved in so many different things. I'm excited to introduce her music to our audiences. Jessie Montgomery's Strum. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. Thanks.